welcome to a Truth Worth Living podcast. We have a very special podcast today, and we hope that you are blessed as much as we have been blessed with all of the wonderful people that we've come in contact with in life. And this is a very special person to me because I've been in contact with her for a while, and we'll be in contact for another while.
Not another while.
But we want to welcome today our special guest, my lovely wife, Nakesha Tate.
Claps.
Right.
All righty. This is special for us because we are highlighting her on this particular Truth Worth Living because she is a brand new author.
All right.
And she has a journal coming out real soon. And it comes out when?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh
The
my
4th.
goodness, the
That's
4th.
right.
So, well, the day of this podcast because we're doing this really late and while everybody else is slumbering and sleeping. But the title of her journal that's coming out is called Living Life Inside Out Life Note. And it is a journal that has you have the ability with this journal to write down notes after you read the summary of the titles and the chapters that she had. You can write down some notes and have a great devotion with the Lord. But we want to make sure that we always acknowledge our sponsors and those that stand behind us. And without them, we could not do this. And that is Seven the Oath, which is our church here in Salina, Texas. And A Truth Worth Living, of course, is the ministry that I have that we do our books and our publications and all of that through. And also AFAM conventions worldwide. Man, let me tell you something. If you missed AFAM this year, you will not want to miss it next year. Next year, AFAM will be held right in Salina, Texas, and we're going to have some information coming out about that really soon. I want to, again, always acknowledge our wonderful co-host, Mr. Aaron Williams is with us as usual, and the lovely Miss Angel Hurst is with us. You guys give it up for our co-host. I love working with these guys. We work so seamlessly together. There's never really any issues, I don't think, unless Aaron doing something behind my back I got to worry out. But no, we work so well together. I really believe that God put us together and He put us together for a long time to do some wonderful things, to bring truth, to bring light, and to talk about the current affairs in our world. Again, thank those that subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple, wherever you subscribe to a Truth Worth Living podcast. And please send this out to family and friends. Make sure that all of the family and friends get to hear these podcasts because we believe that God has given us a voice that is directed toward the believer in preparing us for what He is bringing about next in this world. So, with that being said, we want to continue to pray for our country, pray for our leadership everywhere, and we want to make sure that we're always prepared and ready. 'Cause you never know. And I want to ask y'all this question. Have y'all been hearing about this alien spaceship that's supposed to get here?
Yes, the one that stopped at Mars and is
Yeah.
on its
Ooh.
way.
Stop. You said stopped
What?
at Mars?
Yeah, it stopped at Mars. I think they said it made like a turn, like an unexpected turn, and then it's
Well,
headed our way. Let's
for
see.
those of us who know nothing about this, please fill us in.
I know that's right.
Well, it's funny because they've been talking about this for a while. And,
Yeah.
you get so many conflicting reports about it. But then once you start getting NASA and all these people reporting on it, then you got to look into it
Gotta,
because they're
Mhm.
supposed to be credible.
yeah.
So I'm of this conviction that if it's just us in the universe, it's an awful waste of space.
Whoa. I agree with you.
No, but y'all get that joke though, right?
Yeah.
It's an awful space.
Yes.
But no, it's interesting though, because you think about 20 years ago, we wouldn't even be entertaining anything like this.
No.
But because of the climate in which we live, we're entertaining stuff that we thought we would never entertain. We're entertaining whether male and females can marry male and females,
Yeah.
the same sex.
Yeah.
That's a viable thing now. It is a regular normal thing now. And it's so much going on that you just have to shake yourself sometime and just think, wow, how did we get here?
Yeah.
And it seemed like it happened fast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Seemed like not long ago, some stuff was just, you crazy if you talk about that. Now it's an actual conversation that people have. And just to think about, if it were possible that an alien ship shows up, what would that do to the mentality of
Boy.
mankind here on Earth?
I just hope they not the
I mean, you
alien
think
versus
about-
predators aliens. I don't want them to be them aliens. You know what I'm saying?
They need to be the cute little green ones.
Yeah, be the
the
little
ones you
green
can't
ones.
hit
Don't be no hunter alien. Don't be no, Spartan
Well,
alien.
The movie Predator came out, didn't it? Or just
A
it come out this
warrior
week?
race, a Romulus
It's
alien.
coming
I
out
don't want
on
that.
film.
Well, it's funny though, because recently we've had some movies that came out that talked about
that,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
Mm.
I mean, of course, you got the Predator movie that's
Mhm.
it either came out Friday or it's coming out this Friday.
Yeah.
And then you think about all the other movies that we've seen, and I think what's the one with Will Smith?
Men in Black.
Independence
Independence Day.
Independence
Oh,
Day.
okay.
Yeah, Independence Day.
Yeah.
And also the movie that I really like, look at the kids with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Signs.
Signs.
Yeah.
That's a M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
And it's so funny though to see these. I remember years ago, this lady told me, she said, make sure you watch movies because you will see what the next movement in the world is going to be.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny to look at stuff like this because it just was not something that we laughed about it years ago. Now, because of social media, because of the way news gets out now, things are bigger. If this had happened in 1980s or the 1990s, people would still be without information and nobody would know it.
Yeah.
Somebody would talk about it years ago. Well, back in this time, this happened, and you'd be like, it did. But because information is so easily accessible now, I mean, you can get this stuff out really quick. That's why it's just baffling to me why the gospel can't get out quick enough. But I've learned though that, people in general, they love to talk about themselves more than they talk about God. And this mystery of an alien ship is more about people than it is about the ship itself. Just revealing our mentality and the way that we think. We're going through that right now. We're still continuing in this government shutdown. And I don't know about y'all, but this thing is just getting out of hand. They saying that it's Trump's fault. They saying that it's the Republicans' fault. But the last I checked, if y'all can correct me on this, didn't the Republicans vote to open up the government? The
13
Democrats
times
didn't.
at this point.
There's a shutdown.
But then they turn around and they still call it the Trump shutdown, which is just baffling to me.
Just ignorant. It doesn't matter how much proof you give them, they still are going to believe that Trump shut the government down. And I'm like, he doesn't have the power to shut the government down. It doesn't matter the proof.
But those type mentalities is what's running the world right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's important for us to have these conversations. And I like to say it like this right here. I think it's important for us to have casual conversation about it, where we're not necessarily scripted on anything. It's just casual conversation so we can actually get true response of what people thinking. Typically when people know what they're talking about, they typically formulate their answers to do that. But that's not what we do here. We have a format, but we'll talk about, current events or things that just come up. So it's going to be interesting.
Very.
But let's move along. I want to talk to my wife about her book. She's been working on this a while. She's been working on it a while and a while.
And a while and a while. And the way.
So she finally got it, and and you got in some proofs of it. Is that the book right there?
Yep, this is proof. This is one of the
This
proofs.
is the book right there. I don't know if everybody can see that,
All
but this
right.
the book.
Nice.
And
Back on so I can see.
and it will be out on today. When you go on to Amazon and those different places, you will be able to purchase it. Now tell me, what was the inspiration behind doing this?
So first of all, this you talking about a while, like years, um, and really just sitting down. I was writing. I've never really been when I was younger a journaler. So I've never really journaled when I was younger. And I remember we opened ministry and I just started taking notes, started writing, and I just would get notebooks and write. Sometimes, the notes and the message, and I would find myself thinking. I don't know if you remember this years ago when I told you I was gonna do a book and I let you read something and you was like, that sounds like something else you said. And I just kind of held it. But I think it's important that we take the time to dissect our life, hence living life inside out, and really have it sometimes tangible where you can take a moment, read, like even when I was reading your book, let me read one chapter at a time. Let me take a mark and highlight it. Let me go back and sit on it. Let me think about it. Let me put myself there. Let me see how it applies. And I think that was my inspiration to journal. Actually being able to take your time because I talk fast. I do everything so fast. This made me sit and take time. And I think when you don't take time, you miss things.
Yeah.
And being able to go back and be like, gosh, and being able to journal it and then go back and see growth. Being able to be honest on a written piece of paper that sometimes you would never really be honest with yourself verbally and be like, gosh, that's me. Sometimes people are afraid to be like, that is so me. Even if sometimes, even to yourself, man, I'm so this is me. But when you can sit and write like word for word, like, I am this. And then you can go back and really look at it when you have a bad day or a good day or a day where you've grown. You can go back to it and say, man, like, I remember in 1999, I was in this mindset. And so that was my inspiration just to be able to grow and journal it, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's good. I had the opportunity to sit sometime and watch her go through the process of doing it. And I purposefully did not engage myself a lot in that process because I wanted to make sure that after she finished it, that she would know that it was hers. It wasn't something that I was pushing a certain way. So, I mean, it was just funny to watch that process. It got down to the point where you were trying to get your cover and everything straight.
Oh boy.
And the person that was doing the cover was out of the country and trying to get him back to make corrections on the cover. And I was like, oh, well, I said, well, let me just sit back.
See how this go. I even look like, babe, I need you to change these margins. I don't know what's happening. It really is a labor because you think you have everything right. And then it's like, yes, scheduled to release. And you go a couple of days and then you look at your email and it's like, you missed your deadline. Like, how did I miss my deadline? You said it was scheduled
Did
to release.
everything.
Listen, and my husband, he really did sit back. If I asked him a question, he would answer it. But he did. He would sit back. He didn't, not, I'm going to say he didn't help, but he allowed me to work the process. And I said, I really want to work this process myself and really push myself to do it. Because sometimes when you know somebody, like he's very tech savvy, he's a graphic artist. So I could be like, can you just do this? And I really wanted to take time to say, no, work this process yourself, figure out how to do it. And then, if you need them, then you can like chime in. And so I was just so frantic. And my husband was like, Nikki, you just have to, he had to calm me down. I finally got finished. This is a goal I've had of mine. I'm finally finishing something. And you mean to tell me they're going to tell me it's not my work? Like, whose work is it? Like, and he was like, you need to calm down, figure out what they talk about. And I'm like, how am I supposed to figure it out? They're telling me 10, 20 different things. It's like, go back to the person that did your pictures. We thought it was the photo because they said that could have been one of the things. And I just like, God, you have to tell me something. Like, what is this? Was this just a journey I was supposed to take to write it for myself? Like, tell me and I'll be okay with that, but, like, I'm getting frantic.
I was gonna say, like, I'm glad that, like, you pushed through and that I know it's gonna bless a lot of people, so I'm excited about it, and I'm gonna get my copy. Shauna gonna get her copy, and we're gonna make it shake. But I wanted to
Awesome.
ask you about, like, what message or theme do you want people to take away from it?
Listen, the title itself, and I have to give him credit for this. I have to give my husband credit for this because Living Life Inside Out, the title came from him. Not the title of the journal, but how this came out, well, yes, it is, was because when we first started ministry, we had a women's group and we called it PP31. That was so generic to me because, we used to call it Project Proverbs 31 Woman. It was very traditional. And I was like, it's good, but like, we need something else. And he was like, Living Life Inside Out.
Mm.
I was like, yes, that's it. And so, what I want people to take from this, and I was thinking about this today, and it kept coming to me, Christ in you, the hope of glory. Because everything that you need is already in you. And that living life inside out connects so much with that scripture because we feel like we need everything is outside. You know what I'm saying? What we are, what we become. But if we can just tap into the little dot, the Christ in us, the hope of glory, then we can live life inside out. And we are responsible, but then we're not responsible. We're only responsible for submission versus creation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's good.
very good.
I had the privilege of being there for the conception of Living Life Inside Out.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started coming, it was PP31, and then I remember when you kind of got the vision and we started doing the noon prayers and the noon lunch. It wouldn't even be anything deep. We would just get together as women, have lunch on our lunch break. So women would drive from work,
Yep.
have lunch together, have a session, maybe like an hour, pray out, and then it just evolved. It evolved into retreats and
Retreats.
conferences.
That's
And
right.
I mean, listen, our conferences and retreats were unmatched to the date.
Yeah.
To see it evolve even more now to a more family and community, and to see the
Mhm.
strength of women as wives and mothers because of the ministry, it's only befitting to now birth out something tangible like a journal or something that people can, we don't have to necessarily always meet. Now I can open up my book, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I can take that information and I can make it a part of my daily routine and my daily life. And then when
Yeah.
we come together, we can discuss it. And those will always be fond memories to me, the Living Life Inside Out lunches. Like just getting together, not being super, we went around there falling out, laying hand. We would literally be sitting down, breaking bread, natural bread eating,
That's right.
some spiritual word, going about our day. And that gave so much
That's right.
strength to the women. Like it got to a point where women were getting off work from downtown, from Broad River.
That's
Like I
right.
remember that, like, okay, I only got 30 more minutes, but I can't leave because it was so impactful. So I can only imagine what the book is going to, or the journal is gonna, um, the effect that it's gonna have. I think it's gonna have an even greater effect because it's going into people's homes and they can have that intimate moment, whether they get up in the morning and,
Yeah.
do a journal before they go to bed at night, and they're able to just take those same nuggets and, apply it to their lives. So
That's
I
right.
am always grateful that I was there for the beginning of living life.
The genesis of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, is there anything else that you want to share with us about this? Let me look at this
Well,
book here.
in doing the book, I really was like, okay, God, there's so many journals out there. Y'all know that. There's so many people doing books. And I was saying, and this is a thing about when you rely on yourself, you kind of just, you can second guess. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of why it took so long is because I did guess myself. Like everybody has a journal. Like, it's gonna be just cookie cutter. Like everybody has a journal. What is gonna be different about this? And I would just put it to the side. At the end of making it, finishing it up. I was like, God, I really want something interactive. And there was an artistic piece I wanted with it. And then I wanted like a crossword puzzle, just words in a crossword puzzle that reminds you of living life inside out. And then thought about it. And I was like, that's so dumb. That sounds so elementary. I'm just not going to do it. And then I ran it by somebody, I don't know who, Kim, somebody. And I was like, does that sound stupid? She was like, that is top tier. No one is doing that.
Yep.
You don't see a journal with a page where you get to draw an artistic picture about what you think your life, whether they're drawing flowers, whatever, what you think your life after reading this chapter is like. Draw a picture that represents that. She was like, it really pulls the reader in.
Mm.
And then I was like, well, I'm just gonna only do one crossword puzzle because I don't want them. This is not a tween teen book, even though it can cross that genre.
Well, the one thing I can say about typically journals are like you have a caption that's about less than a paragraph long, and then you have the rest where you can write. That's a substantial writing. It's not just
Right.
Mm.
lines. It's you got to read.
Yeah.
I mean, in my book, it qualifies as it's a journal, but qualifies as a book. So, and how many chapters?
Is 10.
10 chapters.
And and after each chapter, you have lines. You have a page where you get to journal. After because you have like there are three parts to it. So chapter 1 is about the foundation. Then there's which is chapters 1 through 3, then chapters 4 through whatever, and then through 10. And after each chapter, you read, and then it asks you a question for a prompt that prompts you to really think about what you read and to apply yourself to it.
Yeah.
And then at the end of every chapter, you also have additional journaling pages to journal your thoughts after you've read, after you've answered the questions, and just journal your thoughts. Whether it's okay, this took me to this scripture. So if you go back to it, you have, and y'all know our ministry is a ministry of taking notes. And so that was one thing I thought about too. Like, man, we take a lot of notes in church, and it is so great. Like, wouldn't it be great? Because I've had a journal before. It'll have like 2 lines, but your thoughts are longer than that. So it's like you have to be writing up the side of the page. And so I wanted to give ample space for an intimate thought with yourself and God.
Yeah.
And,
I love
being
that.
able to do that.
I love the artistic aspect because it's very therapeutic. And that actually is a thing. I mean, there's adult coloring books, there's adult crossword puzzles, there's things to help people kind of um get into that space where they can
Mhm.
open themselves up to journaling or thinking a little bit more. So to have that in a book is in a journal and not having to like open up my nightstand and get my word puzzle out. That's very unique to me that it's all in one. And then the journaling space, like I think there's some people who can just journal away because they like to write. And then I think there's people who like to journal with guidance.
Yeah.
So having that guidance of like, okay, this is what the chapter is about, and this is how I feel about it, and this is where I think God sees me, and might be where I am right now, but where I want to be. Then I
Mhm.
have a little bit of guidance of what to write. And then
Mhm.
I think writing is therapeutic too, and it helps you sometimes to see where you are. Like you can put it on paper, and then
Mhm.
you can see for yourself, oh, this is where I am.
Yep.
So I think that's very unique, and it's a book. It's just
Yeah.
it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
love it.
in each chapter, some of them end with an encouraging word, some of them end with a prayer. So it's not
Love
like
it.
everyone has a prayer. Everyone, and I was like, I just didn't want it
Gotcha.
to be so just A, B,
Mm.
C. I really wanted to like, where does this fit? What is the substance?
You want to be DEFG?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Stop.
Mhm.
But so cutter. So
Is it just for women?
no, it's funny. And I was saying this to myself when I was looking at the picture. I was like, dang, it's a lady. But it's not just for women because it's not just, well, when I was a wife. It's for anybody. It's for teens. It's simple enough that you can give it to your teen. As a matter of fact, I gave one to Brielle and she started on it and then her teacher asked for one.
Oh wow.
So it's simple enough, but very engaging enough. So
Yeah.
it's a crossover.
I was very interested in looking through the book because the first thing I'm looking for is my name.
You know what?
So
A tribute page.
Yeah.
I have to make sure
You know what? Please.
That's in the second one coming. That's in the second book.
You want a whole chapter? dedicated to you.
No, but I think it's good. I think it's fitting in where we are, particularly in our move to Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the type of people that God has allowed us to come in contact with
Yeah.
is such a variety of people, but at the same token, it seems like it's different people, but they're all looking for the same
Same
thing.
thing.
And
Yes.
and
That's key.
and it's funny, the timing of God is so perfect.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell people, make sure you're connected with the right people.
Yeah.
Make sure you're connected with who God has ordained for your life, because those connections are connected to other connections.
Yeah.
And if those connections aren't right, then you don't get to the next connection
That's right.
that elevate what he has in store for you. There are some things that God has in us that does not unlock until we get to where he wants us to be,
That's
and
right.
we're who he wants us to be with. So it's amazing to watch all of this unfolding, the books releasing, the new church.
But doesn't it seem like, in a way, it's new, it's in a new area, but it almost took us back to the beginning. It's like from the beginning. And I
Yeah.
say that because even with this book, with the women that are coming in, like, I'm gonna be honest, we've done retreats we've been in ministry 20 plus years. Like she said, we've done retreats, we've done women conferences. I don't know that I'll really ever do a women's conference. I don't want to say I'll never, but not in a traditional sense. I don't know that that's whatever, but it's like every woman, and Angel, you can attest to this, that we come in contact with, they are looking, it's almost like the beginning. Cause like when we did the lunches, not that we could do that here, I don't think it'll work here on work days. Like it wasn't churchy. It was just, we're sitting down, we're getting like-minded women, and it was like building foundations. And every woman that I met, talked to, come in contact with, they're like, oh, we're looking for they call a sister group or a group of women who love God. It's almost like we are back at the beginning, but just a different mindset. I don't know, of people, or it's like the need is the same, but maybe on a more mature level, if that makes sense. So I was just thinking about that.
Well, I'm going to say something here controversial, as we always do. Say something controversial that gets us in trouble.
Okay,
But I think a
episode.
lot of times
Pretty much.
the journey that God sends us on, and I was thinking about this on yesterday and today, the journey that God sends us on is a journey of people loading into our lives and people unloading out of our lives. And you can't look at sometimes the unloading as something just really bad.
That's right.
It's for that season. And
That's
then you
right.
unload. But what God does, and now I just think about when we started at a Section 8 housing project in Irmo, South Carolina. We built that into a very family-oriented church
That's right.
and I mean, we did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, to be such a small church and I mean, nobody would, let's be honest about it. Wasn't nobody really supporting us.
No.
Mom Koger
Yeah.
supported us really heavily, but people were still trying to figure out what we
What
were about
That's right.
and
That's
if,
right.
if these people are real.
Hmm.
And just to look at how we went through all that cycle, moved, went through a cycle, moved, went through a cycle,
Yeah.
and then moved again. And it's like you get back, and sometimes you just think all of the things that happened were bad things, but they weren't.
No, no.
It's one thing I've learned about God. God's journey for you always ends where it began.
Begin. Oh, that's good.
Always does. You go back and look in the Bible.
Yeah.
Every person had a journey that they had a name and a nature in a place, and God sent them on a journey, and they came back
That's
around
right.
to that place with a
Yeah.
different name and a different
Different
nature.
nature.
No.
And I think that's what happened with us. I mean, you look at the evolution of some of the people. I mean, Angel, including yourself. You were a high schooler when you first came in. Now you married and got multiple children.
Yep.
I mean, you just think about that. And I mean, Aaron, when you and Shonda came in, y'all would be considered old compared to when LaRon them came in. I mean, and it's just funny to watch this whole process play out the way that it's playing out. But, I just I'm just grateful to God that he allowed us to have this time to grow, to expand, to do different things, to meet new people, make wonderful connections, build a community. And I think this is a manifestation of that process. The journal that my wife has um, written, it is a testament to this process of everything that is coming together and the journey that she took writing it,
Yeah.
how difficult, some bumps in the road, some things didn't go right.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, it's here. It's funny when it's here, all of the stuff you went through, it's funny. It took that long to get here. And here seems so simple because this is what I was trying to do the whole time.
Yeah.
But
And frustrating because it's like, I don't get it. Now, like today, sitting here, I get it. Because even if I would have put it out earlier, would the unloading, would they be not prepare for it? Like it's this great thing, but would it be received? But it
I
wouldn't
think
have.
it would have gotten caught up into the process.
Yes.
They would have, and you know, it's funny when we got here. I was telling somebody it was funny. This is the only place that I've ever moved in life where I felt like I did not have an adaptation period. It's like I got here and just felt like
We got it. Yeah.
I've always been here. And that's how you know sometimes that you made the right move. But I think that the journey that you have taken was really good for you because and I'm gonna explain this the best way that I can. When you sitting up at night getting on my nerves about it, and I'm telling you to go to bed.
And I'm still typing and
No, but it's just so funny to watch it because you look at that stuff and just think how hilarious it is that when we think that things are not going to come together, sometimes that's just God holding you up for right timing.
timing. That's right. That's right.
And so
And that's
that's my
encouraging. That's very
yeah.
encouraging. Cause sometimes when
Yeah.
you're going through a process and life is it just seems like it's having its way with you, you know? But it's like it
Yes.
just God always there's a purpose for it. It's not just for nothing, you know, like the process is necessary. Like it
That's
is.
right.
It is. Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
You are absolutely correct. It is necessary and it is ordained by God.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
that's what I love. And I really think that, you know, I don't think this is the last one that she will work on. I think she will work on a couple others. And, you know, I really look forward to us having so much in the marketplace for people to get a hold to. And you know, and I'm not trying to be just biased, but I'm really looking for what God said from the beginning, and that we would be the marketplace for ministry.
That's right.
Whatever
Absolutely.
you need, you can get from the people of God.
That's right.
You don't have to go to a motivational speaker to get inspired. No, you just got to get disciplined in the word
That's right.
and keep moving forward. When you fall, when you mess up, when something happens, keep moving forward.
That's right.
And that's really the key with this whole thing. Co-host, y'all got any other questions that you guys want to ask at this time?
Are there topics that help with, because you're a pastor, right? You pastor a church, you have a flock. So is it more catered towards a Christian, a believer, or is it something that can be universal to a person who may not be a believer? Are there just like principles in there that can be for everyday living?
I think it crosses over. I think it definitely is a believer's guide, but we talk about stuff like cloudy vision. Everybody has had a point where there's a cloudy vision and there's a process. So I feel like whether you're a believer or not, you can take it. It's not littered with, and I'm not, downplaying, it's not littered with super spiritual slogans. It definitely points to scripture and the truth of God, but it also crosses over, what allows you to apply. If you are an atheist, you got to go through a process. There's a journey. So you can still take that and apply it. So I think it's littered with principles, the truth of God, but it definitely crosses over, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I ask that just because I feel like there's people out there who, whether they've been a part of the quote unquote church or people who just never heard of,
Yeah.
have never really experienced it. Sometimes these type of books, they're automatically just like, oh, I ain't reading that 'cause
Yep.
it's not my lane, or I don't go to church, or I left the church.
Yeah.
But sometimes these books are great for people not only to just read and get the principles, but to hear that call,
Yeah.
to bring them back or to open up insight, that maybe they're called and that God is you know, calling them,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of times in the Christian world, and I say that word loosely, like in the cultural Christian world, these
Mhm.
these self-help books are so loaded with the jargon that
Yes.
it's like it's only a certain type of person that will buy them and read them,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's great
Yeah.
to know.
And yeah, it's definitely not. And to be honest, and I think you remember, Angel, a couple years ago, the first print that I started, and you read it, and it was like, okay, that's. We both were like, okay, that's way too deep. That's just slogans and
Mhm.
sayings. For instance, only God can do it. That wasn't in there, but I'm just using the instance like, okay, that's too much. That's real.
Yeah,
You just talk plain. We can use scripture because it needs to apply to everyday life. It has to, and it has to relate where they can apply it to their everyday life. And
yeah,
so I remember we were trying to, we had someone formatting it and making corrections to it. And she was like, well, can you, she would be saying, like, can you expound a little bit? And when I went and read, I'm like, what in the world was I thinking? But you think one thing, you're trying to be, and I was like, I just stopped. Honest to God, I was just like, I'm done with that. I think we even lost the whole manuscript. And then I was like, okay, let me get clear. And when we got here, and I had time to sit, and I was able to get clear and just write down the points that I felt like God was driving home and notes that I had from like 2017, which I still got a lot of your notes. And I'm not saying they're in this book, but I do have some.
I want my
Uh,
money. I want my daddy's records.
but yeah, that God will shut you down in a minute because it's like that's too churchy. You'd have to go to a church convocation to sell this book for it to be, applicable. Like that's not what this is supposed to be. You wanted to reach a teenager. You wanted to reach a male. You wanted to reach a what? Like stop doing too much. And yeah, we lost the manuscript, and I think it was very purposeful because I don't think we would have sold not hardly any copies.
No.
Yep.
Well, I do want to say this. I want to make sure those of you that are listening, please make sure you get this information out. Living Life Inside Out, Life Notes, the journal, and that is with Nakesha Tate, and it will be available on today moving forward. Let's get this out and let's get as many copies into as many hands as we possibly can. Um, um, there's some holidays coming up. Those of you
Yeah.
looking for gifts for birthdays and things like that, this will make give people something that gives them life the rest of their life and not just a wear. I'm not saying you can't buy people clothes and stuff, but I mean sometimes people open your gift and say, "Ooh, wow, this is nice," and they wear it one time and then it be hidden
Mhm.
in the closet for. But this is something that they can use on a daily basis and on a weekly basis and increase their devotion and their walk with God. So we'd like to thank my wife for
Why?
being
Thank
here
you.
with us,
Why? Thank you guys
sharing
for
with us.
Yeah.
considering me. Inside joke.
But
Thank
you
you.
guys make sure you get this podcast out to your family and friends. Oh my goodness.
I don't think you're ever gonna live this down, Pastor.
Nah,
Hey,
Oh,
ever.
This out to your family and friends and please make sure you share all of our podcasts with your family and friends. I am certain that what God shares with us, that we share with you, will be a blessing to help you in your walk with the well way that
Mhm.
God has commanded all of us to walk. Don't forget, if you are ever in the Salina, Prosper, McKinney, Frisco, Plano, Allen area, come check us out at 7 The Oath for Life. We are at, and I think I'm saying this right, 8818 County Road 101. That is Salina, Texas.
Mhm.
Make sure you come and check us out Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. And you can also log on with our streaming on Wednesday night, our life enhancement moments, where our pastors will be sharing the word of God. And we look forward to seeing you guys. Don't forget about the cruise coming up next year. Please, if you want to go on that cruise, get on our page, find the information, and make the contact. And also our AFAM Believers Fellowship, which is going to be held next year. You're going to hear more information about that real soon. But we just look forward to seeing you guys soon. We look forward to hearing from you. Inbox us with any questions that you have and anything that you want to share, any topics that you guys think that you want us to talk about. Please make sure you inbox us. We love to hear from you. We love to hear from, we don't know everything. We can't see everything. We can't
Mhm.
see everything that's happening. There might be some things happening in the church world or in believers' life or just in world period that we need to talk about. And we'd be more than happy to take that into consideration for our future podcast. So that's going to do it. And I want you guys to remember uh, um, truth is always worth living. Don't be ashamed. Don't be a compromiser. Stand strong, stand tall amongst the world, in the world, around the world, and amongst the believers. And know that God got your back. And we love you, and you guys take care. Have a great day and the rest of the week.
Bye, guys.